Welcome to Heartline Stories. Today's story follows a devoted assistant who cares for her boss during a difficult time. Little does she know, her life is about to change forever. As she helps the CEO through his darkest moments, their bond grows stronger, and something unexpected happens. Will their relationship stay professional, or will it take an unexpected turn? Watch until the end to find out. Let us know where you're watching from, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories. Once upon a time in New York City, there lived a kind-hearted woman named Emma. She worked as a nurse at a busy hospital. One day, as Emma was finishing her shift, she received a call that changed everything. A man named Lucas, a successful CEO of a huge company, had been rushed to the emergency room. He was badly injured after an accident and needed immediate attention. When Emma entered his room, she was struck by how handsome Lucas was, even though he was unconscious and pale from the accident. His company was well known, and Emma had heard his name many times, but she never thought she'd be the one to take care of him. For the next few days, Emma worked hard to make sure Lucas was comfortable. She stayed by his side, checking his vitals, making sure he was taking his medications, and even talking to him when he was still unconscious. Emma had a calming presence, and it seemed like Lucas was improving quickly with her care. As the days passed, Lucas began to wake up, and Emma was there to help him get back on his feet. He was weak at first, but Emma was patient and kind. She encouraged him to take small steps and kept him motivated to keep going. One day, as he sat in a chair by the window, Lucas finally spoke. "Thank you, Emma," he said, his voice raspy but filled with gratitude. "I don't think I could have made it through without you." Emma smiled, but she didn't know the full impact of her kindness. She had no idea that her simple acts of care were slowly changing the course of her life. Over the next few weeks, as Lucas continued to recover, he became more and more impressed with Emma's selflessness. He noticed how she didn't ask for anything in return, how she always put others' needs before her own. It was rare to find someone like that in his world of business, where everything was driven by money and power. One evening, as Emma was about to leave for her shift, Lucas called her into his office. "I want to thank you properly," he said. "You've done more for me than anyone else could have. I've been thinking, I want you to come work for me." Emma was shocked. "Work for you? But I'm a nurse. I don't have any experience in your world." Lucas smiled warmly. "You may not know it, but your care, your kindness, has already shown me more than any board meeting ever could. I need someone like you on my team, someone who understands the value of people over profit." Emma didn't know what to say. She had never considered working in a corporate world, especially for someone as powerful as Lucas. But there was something about the way he spoke that made her think maybe it wasn't such a crazy idea after all. "Thank you for the offer, but I need time to think about it," Emma said, still unsure. Lucas nodded, understanding. "Take all the time you need. Just know that I'm grateful. You've changed my life, Emma." As she left his office that night, Emma couldn't stop thinking about what Lucas had said. She had only been doing her job, helping someone in need, but somehow her fate had become tied to this powerful CEO. What would happen next? Days turned into weeks, and Emma continued to care for Lucas as he fully recovered. The two became closer, and their conversation started to move beyond hospital walls. They talked about everything, from their childhoods to their dreams for the future. The more Emma learned about Lucas, the more she realized how much she admired him. But little did Emma know, Lucas had already made up his mind. He wasn't just offering her a job, he was offering her a future. As she walked into his office one afternoon, Lucas looked up at her with a serious expression. "I've been thinking a lot, Emma," he began. "You've brought something into my life that I've been missing for a long time. Someone real. I want you to be more than just an employee." Emma's heart skipped a beat. What did he mean? "Lucas, I don't—" she started, but he interrupted her gently. "Don't say anything yet. I've made arrangements for us to go somewhere quiet for a few days. I want to talk about our future. Together." Emma stood there, her heart racing. She had no idea what Lucas was planning. Was he asking her to leave her job and work for him full-time? Or was he hinting at something more? Her mind was a whirlpool of thoughts and emotions. "Where are we going?" she finally asked, trying to stay calm. Lucas smiled softly. "It's a place where we can just talk. No work, no distractions. I need you to hear me out. I've been thinking about us a lot. Emma wasn't sure if she was ready for whatever conversation Lucas had in mind, but she trusted him, especially after everything that had happened. The next day, they set off for a quiet cabin in the mountains. It was a peaceful, serene place, far away from the chaos of the city. Lucas had arranged for everything. Emma didn't even have to worry about meals or anything. She felt a little nervous, but also strangely relaxed. It was just her and Lucas, and for the first time in weeks, she could finally breathe. As they sat by the fireplace that evening, Lucas turned to her, his eyes full of sincerity. I know I've been a bit impulsive in asking you here, he said softly, but the more I got to know you, the more I realized how much I appreciate you, more than just for your work. Emma blinked. I don't understand. What do you mean? All this time I thought my business and success were the most important things in life, Lucas said, his voice quiet but strong. But after everything you've done for me, I realized I was wrong. It's not about money. It's about the people who care for you when you're at your lowest. And you've shown me that. You've helped me see what really matters. Emma felt her heart swell, but she still didn't fully understand where this was going. I'm just doing my job. You're the one who helped me get through some really tough times too, Lucas smiled. I want to make it clear. I think we have something special, not just professionally, but personally. I feel connected to you in a way I can't explain. Emma's mind raced. Was he saying what she thought he was saying? Could she possibly feel the same way about him? Before she could respond, Lucas continued. I want you to know that whatever you choose, whether you stay in the company or not, I'm here. I've never met anyone like you, Emma. For the first time, Emma wasn't sure how to respond. She had always seen Lucas as just the CEO she cared for in the hospital. But now things felt different. Could she see a future with him? Could she allow herself to let her feelings grow beyond friendship and professionalism? The night passed slowly as they continued talking. Emma was exhausted, but her heart was full. She didn't know what would come next, but one thing was certain: her life was never going to be the same again. As they left the cabin the following morning, Lucas took her hand gently. Take all the time you need to think, but just know this. Whatever happens, I'm here for you. Emma felt a wave of emotion hit her as she nodded. She had no idea where this new chapter in her life would lead, but she couldn't deny that it was already taking her somewhere unexpected. Would she take the leap into the unknown with Lucas? Or would she go back to her quiet life, unsure of what could have been? Emma couldn't stop thinking about Lucas as they made their way back to the city. Her mind was full of questions and feelings she wasn't sure how to handle. For the first time in a long time, she felt torn between her duty and her heart. She had always been the careful one, the one who played it safe. But Lucas had shown her a side of life she hadn't seen before. He wasn't just the CEO. He was a man who had been vulnerable, who had shown her his flaws and trusted her with his darkest hour. As the days passed, Emma couldn't help but wonder if she was making a mistake by not taking a chance on Lucas. She enjoyed spending time with him, but she didn't want to risk their professional relationship. She knew how complicated it could get. One afternoon, while working late in the office, Emma received a call. It was Lucas. Hey, Emma. His voice sounded softer than usual. I've been thinking a lot about everything, and I just want you to know, I don't want to rush you into anything. Take your time, but if you feel the same way I do, maybe we could see where this goes. Emma's heart skipped a beat. His words lingered in the air like a question she wasn't ready to answer. Could she really take that step with him? Was she willing to risk everything she had built to explore what could be a completely different life? Lucas, she began slowly, I don't know what to say. I care about you, I really do. But this is all new territory for me. I've always kept work and personal life separate, and I'm scared of what it could mean if I cross that line. There was a brief silence on the other end of the line before Lucas responded. I understand, Emma. I really do. But just know that you don't have to decide everything right now. You mean a lot to me. Take your time. As Emma hung up the phone, she was left with more questions than answers. She had always played it safe, sticking to the familiar. But was it time to step out of her comfort zone? Would she regret not taking the chance with Lucas? Later that week, they met for coffee to catch up on work. But the conversation quickly turned back to what had happened in the mountains. Emma knew she had to make a decision, but it wasn't going to be easy. Emma, Lucas said quietly, his gaze intense. I'm not asking for anything right away. I just want you to know that I'm here for you, no matter what you choose. We can still be colleagues, we can still be friends, but I can't promise that I won't hope for more. Emma looked into his eyes, and for the first time, she saw a side of him that wasn't just the powerful CEO. She saw a man who was vulnerable, who was willing to take a chance on her, despite everything. Maybe we should take it slow, Emma said, her voice barely above a whisper. Maybe we could start with just getting to know each other better, outside of work. No pressure. Just us. Lucas smiled, his eyes lighting up. That sounds perfect. And with that, Emma knew she had made the right decision. Whatever came next, she was ready to face it, one step at a time. As the weeks went by, Emma and Lucas took their time, getting to know each other in ways they hadn't before. They spent weekends hiking, enjoying quiet dinners and sharing personal stories. Lucas opened up more than Emma had ever expected, revealing his insecurities about running such a large company, his struggles with trust, and his fear of being alone. For Emma, the connection they shared began to grow stronger with each passing day. The boundaries between professional and personal life started to blur, but it felt natural, not forced. She realized that she had never felt so comfortable with someone before. One evening, after a particularly beautiful sunset hike, Lucas turned to her, his eyes filled with sincerity. Emma, I'm glad we took it slow. I know it's been a whirlwind for both of us, but I can't imagine my life without you in it. Emma smiled, feeling a warmth spread through her chest. I feel the same way, Lucas. I've never been this happy, and I never thought I'd be here with you, but I'm glad I am. Lucas reached for her hand and held it gently. I don't want to rush anything, but I've been thinking about our future. I want you by my side, not just as my assistant or colleague, but as someone who is part of my life in every way. Emma's heart swelled with emotion. She had never thought of herself as someone who could be with someone like Lucas, especially after everything she had gone through. But now, standing there with him, she knew that they could face anything together. I want that too, she whispered. And from that moment on, Emma and Lucas moved forward with a new chapter in their lives. They balanced their relationship and their work, supporting each other through the highs and lows. Emma's care and support during his darkest hour had not only changed his life, but also brought them both closer than they ever imagined. Their story was just beginning, and it was one that promised more love, more challenges, and a future filled with endless possibilities. Thank you for joining us on this Heartline story. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Sometimes the smallest actions can lead to life-changing consequences.